Мои родители были из разных миров. И я дитя любви, которой не должно было случиться.
Однажды ты объединишь наши миры.
Сын земли и сын морей.
Твоя мать всегда знала, что ты особенный.
What I loved about the movie is not only that they hired a horror movie director to direct it and bring your experience of creating creatures and those fantastic creatures on screen, but also Jason is a sort of a misfit. And it's a film about misfit. Is that what makes it relevant?
I mean, Jason definitely, you know, his character is a loner to begin with, right? Like, he doesn't quite kind of fit in. Yeah, just thematically, the idea that he is a guy who is half surface dweller and half Atlantean, and so here's a guy who feels like he doesn't fit into either world, and I think, you know, just drawing from Jason's own sort of personal background, you know, he said he felt a lot of that when he was growing up. You know, he was, you know, he's half, right, and he said he never kind of quite felt like he fitted in any way. In any way, and then, but as he got older, he started accepting who he is,
kind of
and then
that.
and up celebrating that, and so that's what this movie is. This character is like that. Here's a guy who doesn't feel like he belongs in either worlds, but by the end of the movie, he goes through this hero's journey to realize he's actually the best of both worlds.
Именно здесь Вулка впервые учил меня плавать.
Но я уже умею плавать.
Ничего ты не умеешь. Ты должен забыть все, чему тебя учили на суше. Открой в себе скрытые инстинкты Атланта.
Aquaman has a sort of ambiguous reputation online, as I learned myself after the first movie, and there were many jokes about him. So, was it easy to make him cool again?
I don't know. I guess people, fuck it, just make jokes, man. Make jokes. My job is to make him look cool.
You don't care?
I don't. I mean, to me, he's a badass character, and you know, when I watch Justice League, I think it's pretty rad. I'm stabbing things in the face with the trident and fighting people. I mean, I'd still think he'd be my favorite.
Does Aquaman get offended when people call him Fish Boy?
No. He just drinks with them and trashes the bar, I guess.
Не двигайся.
Эй, ты что делаешь?
Нам нужна вода. Ты ближайший источник.
Показуха. Мог бы помочиться.
What is the family tree?
So, Mira's mother was the queen. There's several different kingdoms, 7 in fact, that are represented in our universe. We never meet Mira's mother. She, as we kind of introduced her backstory a little bit in Justice League, where my character is introduced originally, and she references that, you know, her parent, or well, her parent, but her mother.
When
you know,
there is a romantic storyline between her and Jaisonom Momoa's character,
it's not
ancestral.
No.
My God. What?
No.
Tell me, did you cast Nicole Kidman just because she's Australian and you wanted to
Yes,
direct
that's
her?
really that's my only reason for casting Nicole. It's the Australian connection. We all stick together. I mean, it's Nicole Kidman, right? You know, you'd be lucky to have Nicole Kidman in your film. And when we were writing this character, you know, I didn't like Nicole. Literally was the first person I thought would be amazing to play, you know, the Queen of Atlantis.
В этом трезубце заключена мощь Атлантиды. Попав не в те руки, трезубец принесет разрушение. Но в руках истинного наследника он объединит наше царство.
Пришло время Атлантиде возродиться.
Do you like playing villains?
I do. Whenever you play a hero, good guy, bad guy, you want to find what makes them tick or what's the other side of that. You know, he's a tricky villain in that he's not, and he's a good contrast to Black Manta, who has a very clear vengeance through line. Orm is, and they've always kept Orm very complicated because he's related to Arthur, to Aquaman.
He gives him a choice.
Yeah, and you so it's easy to see why we don't get along. I'm the king of Atlantis. He's the half Atlantean, and you know, and I look down on it. But in another world, in another life, you'd feel like they should have gotten along. They were brothers. So that's fun to play. So you want to find the things that is the common bond. It's easy to find things that you pull apart that are different. That's even physically very clear. So it's nice to find the common ground.
Мы должны остановить его.
И как ты предлагаешь это сделать?
Отыскав это.
У меня уже есть такой?
Нет, такого у тебя нет.
What do you think was the best and the worst thing about your costume?
It looked amazing and it felt terrible.
What was it made of?
I don't know. It's like it's made out of like a stretchy, spandexy thing,
Latex.
material, latexy sort of thing, but it makes it incredibly not hard to move in, not breathable, and it requires a very, very long process to get in. And it also doesn't breathe and holds water, so it is
It
incredibly.
reminded me of Ariel, the mermaid.
Oh, really?
You remember? Because
I've-
from the Disney movies.
Yeah, and I think someone pointed that out to me, that it was a little mermaidy, which is probably a good thing.
I think the most difficult was we had to, the costumes moved very fluidly, very, very easily. Then they would put on this armor that, of course, then inhibited your movement. So trying to find that balance between what you had to wear and what they could put on later, and with VFX, that was always the balance.
Зверь проснулся. Пришло время Атлантиде возродиться.
Take me through the underwater scenes. They look amazing because the faces look dry, but everything else moves like underwater.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that, if you look at your hand, if you look at stuff underwater,
Yeah.
it looks dry.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only
It's
time it
normal.
looks, when you look wet, is when you actually take it out of the water. Because that's when you see like it glistening and water dripping off it. And so, when we did a lot of R&D at the start, just sort of just researching the look of underwater. We would build the costumes and get the actors and the stunt people to kind of wear it, and then we will submerge them in a water tank and just literally film them and just see how things move, see how the light interacts with them, see how the way the light sort of break up from the surface of the water and how it refracture on their body and stuff like that. And we learn a lot from that. And then ultimately we basically settled on the technique known as dry for wet, which is, we shoot the actors, in a blue screen stage, but putting them in these really awkward rigs to kind of create the impression
I
of
imagine
swimming.
they were just hanging in the air.
They actually were not hanging, like, don't think Peter Pan, like how you would do old school Peter Pan, right? It's not like that, but it's kind of, it's similar. The actors are literally kind of attached to what we call tuning forks, and it's called that because it literally looks like a giant tuning fork, right? So you have a pole that then fang out like that, like tuning forks, and the actors are sort of rig on that, and then at the end of this pipe, there's literally like a steering wheel on it, so you can actually steer the actors. You can turn them, and the thing is to sort of pivot on a cable, and so like you can kind of little float the actors, kind of spin them and move them. It's really cool.
А это еще кто?
What traits of his character do you share with him?
He likes beer and so do I. And I like fish and so does he.
Well, you like to eat fish.
Yes.
He probably doesn't.
No, he does.
Oh, he does?
Yes. Those are the only two similarities. Beer and sushi.
У Атлантиды всегда был царь. Теперь нужно нечто большее.
Что может быть важнее царя?
Герой.